that will have this logic. So I will start by writing the year test. And now let's define our first test case. That would be is leap when is db, or let's start with the opposite. Is not leap when is not divisible by 4, right? This is our first rule. So let's write the test. So I create a new year, let's say 2001. That is one case that is not divisible by 4. And when I ask is sleep, well, I should get false, right? Of course, the year class does not exist yet because I'm doing TDD. So I first write the test does not even compile because the class does not exist. So let's start by creating the class. Generate class year in a new file. Now it's done, and now the class exists, but the isLeap method does not exist. So let's start by generating that method. And now it should be able to compile it. Yes, it's compiling, so let's run the test. And when I run the test, this should fail. Yeah, it's failing as expected. Why? Well, basically, I think it's failing because it's not implemented. The method is sleep. It's not implemented, right? So what we have is the default template provided by Visual Studio. So let's fix this class. I want this to be public, and I don't like this variable, this field called b. So let's call it value. Well, wait a second, this is not right. Before refactoring this, I should ensure the test pass, right? Because it doesn't matter to have nice code that doesn't work. So first, let's make it work, and then we will make it nice. So in order to have this test green, in order to have this test passed, I would write the minimum code needed to make it green. And the minimum code in this case is return just false. Of course, this does not meet the full leap criteria. And that's the idea. I should just fill the test I have at this point, right? So for now, this should be enough. So I will run the test again, and I should get that test green. And it's working fine. So now that this test is working, I will commit the code. We have a bunch of new files here, so git commit first tests, or let's say some refactors and basic leap structure. Now, in this case, I decide to push my code to the origin, and this is something that could be like controversial, because somebody could say it doesn't make sense to push that to the repository because the feature is not ready. and that is correct. The feature is not ready, but at the same time, it's not breaking anything. So if everything is green, well, my policy is just push it. I don't want my code to have to get very different from what is on the central repository. So my strategy and my recommendation is to push as frequent as you can, right? So um, let's continue. I should add some more tests in order to complete this feature because um, I'm not at this point meeting all the criteria for a leap year. So what I should do is to add some more tests. And the next test could be um, is not leap when is divisible by 4 and 100 but not 400. So what would be this case? Well, in this case, we will have 100